Hey guys, so I just want to do an extension on everything that we're talking about in our second unit. Okay, so for polynomials and algebra, I wanted you first to take a look at what was posted for the day 2 material, and then I was going to post this afterwards and actually discuss it through Zoom to see how you felt about it. And yeah, so here we go. When you're rearranging formulas, you might recall this from earlier on, we're still going to apply our SAMDEB tactics, where we are applying subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, exponents, and brackets in the order from left to right using inverse operations. Okay, so if we want to rearrange the following formulas, we're still going to consider SAMDEB. We are going to be working through variables. Okay, so in our example here, we see the formula for speed, which is distance over time. This would be similar to if we had 5 is equal to x over 3. Okay, so if we wanted to isolate for x, like how we're trying to isolate for d, you'll notice you multiply both sides by whatever the denominator is. So in this case for speed, we actually multiplied both sides by t. And when you multiply both sides by t, we get speed times time, which is equal to distance. And on the far right, you'll notice the t's actually cancel out. So we would apply that same strategy here, where we would multiply both sides by 3, like how we did in one-step equations. Oops, let me use the red one, be consistent. So we have 5 times 3 is 15 is equal to x. Okay, so this is what we would have done through one-step equations. We're going to do that same strategy using SAMDEB, but now with multiple letters, multiple variables. Okay, so I'm going to always highlight what we're looking for, and we're going to apply SAMDEB. Okay, so if we want to isolate, rearrange the following formulas to make B the subject. So B is what we're trying to find. Okay, so I'll write out here, isolate B. Now we'll think, what operation is at hand? Well, 2b is similar to 2 times b, right? So this operation is actually multiplication. Now the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I'm actually going to divide both sides by 2, not b, okay? It's a common mistake I find some students make. They'll divide by your subject, but I'm looking for b. So I want to isolate b. Because I can't figure out what a over 2 is, because we're dealing with variables, I'm just going to leave it, because once b is already isolated, you've done your job. This is done. So b is equal to a over 2. Okay, I've highlighted in pink the ones that you will try. And I'll continue to go through some of these teacher examples. Okay, rearrange the following formulas for the indicated variable. Now let's try and isolate for m. Okay, so if you look here, the operations at hand, we have m times v divided by t. Now that division of t really complicates things for us, doesn't it? So something I can do is I can actually multiply both sides by t to eliminate t. Okay, so what I have here, these cancel. I have t times f, or you know what, I could just use ft is equal to mv. Okay, and then to isolate for m, so again on the right side, that's multiplication. To undo multiplication, we divide. I'm going to divide both sides by v. Okay, so m will be equal to f times t divided by v. Okay, so in our first step, to undo division, we multiplied. Okay, and then in this step, to undo multiplication, we divided. Okay, we didn't need to apply any subtraction or addition because none was presented to us. Okay. For this one, okay, so number 3, we're going to isolate for L. Okay, we do have brackets, okay, so we actually need to figure out how can we isolate for L. Well, to make our lives easier, let's get rid of that 2. That's right at the beginning of the perimeter equation, 2 times length plus width. So then these would cancel. I'm left with just L plus W, P divided by 2. Okay, now if I want to still isolate for L, I'm going to move over that plus W to the left side. So I should have P over 2 minus W is equal to L. So again, we dealt with actually the division part first. Now you might say, well, Miss, why didn't you deal with the addition part first? But the addition was in brackets, and you know in SAMDEB, brackets is last, right, or near the end. Okay. All right. I got one more to do for you guys. Okay, so rearrange the following equation, and now we're going to isolate for B. Okay, so you'll notice they progressively get a little trickier as we move forward. We'll consider again SAMDEB, and you might notice that there is a subtraction. Okay, so with this subtraction, I'm going to actually move it over, so I actually have A plus 4 is equal to 2B squared. Okay, so I've dealt with the subtraction. The opposite operation of subtraction is addition. Okay, well look, is there any multiplication? There is. Right here, 2 times B squared. So I'm going to divide, which is the opposite operation. So I'm left with B squared is equal to, so look what I could do here. A plus 4 divided by 2. I can actually cancel 4 divided by 2, which just makes 2. But the A is still over 2. Because if I wrote that out separately, A over 2 doesn't cancel as nicely as 4 over 2 does. Okay? So then we need to look at how can we undo the square root sign. Or I just gave it away. Undo the square sign. So I'm actually going to square root both sides. Okay, and I'll be left with then B is equal to A over 2 plus 2. Okay, that was probably the hardest example that we've done today. Okay, so please try again what's in pink here. There's just a couple questions to complete. And then what I will do, because it's a trickier lesson, I'm going to post the solution sometime on the weekend so you can compare your answers. Okay, there's no need